Hello and welcome to Keepsales. Now in this video we will be looking at the purchase order feature on Keepsales and how you can set it up. Now before we begin, I'll take us through what a purchase order is. So take a journey with me and let's go through it. Now before I explain what a purchase order is, I want to show you on Keepsales where to find the purchase order. So you click on main menu and then you click on stock. Then you look for purchases. Okay, you click on purchases. Okay, so it loads up for you and then it brings you on here. So this is where you be recording your purchases. So you click on new purchases record and then you are good to go. But before we continue on there, let's talk a little about what the a purchase order is. Okay, so a purchase order is a commercial source document that is issued by a business when placing an order with its vendors or suppliers. So then the document indicates the details on the items that are to be purchased, such as the types of goods, the quantity, and then the price. Okay, so in simple terms, it is the contract drafted by the buyer when purchasing goods from the seller. Okay, so basically, all that I've been trying to say is that the purchasing order is a document generated by the buyer and serve the purpose of ordering goods from the supplier. I think this is the most simple definition that I can give. That the purchase order is a document generated by the buyer and serves the purpose of ordering goods from the supplier. Okay, so now these four steps are usually observed in purchase orders. One is that the buyer creates a purchase requisition. Okay, so what we mean by the buyer creates a purchase requisition is that at this stage, this is where the buyer sits down and then identifies the things that they would want to purchase from the order. From the supplier. Okay, so you sit down. If you have a team that you work with, or you do it alone. Okay, at this point, you want to, order for item A, B, C, D, etc. And then also, you don't only consider the items you are buying, but then you're also thinking about things like how you are going to pay your supplier, the shipping costs, are there any tax payments involved, are there any discounts that you need, any payment terms and conditions. Like, there are other things that you'd want to consider, okay, at this particular stage. Okay, so once all that has been figured out, then the second step is that you now create a purchase order. Okay, you create a purchase order. So now the third is that the seller either accepts or rejects your purchase order. Okay, so when you've created your purchase order, you let your supplier, or the one who is getting you the items, get to know the things you want to order, and then what they will do is they either accept it or they reject it. Okay, so then the fourth is that the buyer then records the purchase order. Okay, so these are the four main steps involved that are usually observed in purchase orders. Okay, so now Keepsales allows you to create and record a purchase order. Okay, the purchase order feature allows you to keep track of all incoming purchases so that you don't mix different supplier goods up. Okay, so it helps you what Keepsales does for you is it helps you to be organized, okay, with your purchase orders, and so that you don't mix different supplier goods up, and also you avoid repurchasing the same items you had already ordered for. And then lastly, the records can always be used as a legal document. Okay, so in case there are any disputes over the purchases that you did, you can always use it as a legal document. Okay, so the purchase order, it's an important feature for a lot of retailers. Okay, so this is how we create you create your purchase order on Keepsales. Okay, so you click on new purchases record. Okay, so then this information appear, and then what it says is the first item we see is this a purchase order, and then by default it is no. Now this feature does two things. You are either using the purchase feature, or you are creating a purchase order. Okay, now the difference between the two is the purchase feature means that you've already acquired the items from your supplier. Okay, so now you want to update your inventory. Okay, so then the purchases feature helps you to update your inventory. Okay, now the purchase order is that you are creating a document to be given to your supplier. So at the purchase order level, you don't have any items yet. You're just creating a document, okay, to be given to your supplier to let them know that these are the items that you would want from them. Okay, so then over here again it says that is this a purchase order, and then default no. So I mean in this video we are talking about purchase order. There's a video on purchases, so you can go check that out on our YouTube channel. Okay, it explains what the purchase feature is and how to go about using the purchase feature. But over here we will be creating a purchase order. So is this a purchase order? We set it to yes, and then you can create an invoice number for it. So we can just let's just say incoming items. Okay, whichever invoice number you want to give to it, and then you create a date, you select a date, okay, for the purchase order. So we'll choose today's date. So we click on the date, we click on done, and then we click to create new purchases record. Okay, so over here it's been successful. So we go ahead, to add our items and to create our document. Okay, so over here you see that our initial our date of purchases that we selected is indicated here, and then the connected invoice number is also indicated here. Okay, so now the next thing you see is a supplier. Okay, so now you want to choose a supplier for this particular document. Okay, so we have a list of suppliers here. Now if you do not have any supplier list available here, then what you have to do is you have to go and create one. Okay, so there's a feature called supplier management. We have a video on what supplier management is, so do check it out. Go and learn. Okay, let's learn how to create a supplier information. Upload your supplier information on Keepsales, because you are going to need it for features like creating the purchase order. Okay, so once that is out of the way, we've selected our supplier. Then now we have here the purchase order details. Okay, so over here you want to indicate the billing address detail. You also want to indicate the shipping address, and then if there are any payment terms and conditions that you may have set out with your supplier, you can also indicate all that over here. Okay, so once you have uploaded or inputted all those relevant details, then we come to the next item. So you scroll down, and then over here we are going to select the items I would want to purchase. Okay, so let's just say we want to purchase. Okay, so let me select some pharmacy related items since I chose. Okay, okay, so you can select as many I mean a lot of items that you want. Okay, whichever number that you prefer. Okay, you can just keep on selecting. Okay, so you just have to search for the items. Okay, and then you are good to go. Okay, so let me just mix in a few. So we just keep selecting. Okay, so over here once we select our item, okay, they are listed in order. So we have item 1, item 2, okay, up to item 4. So like I said, depending on the number that you want, the number of items that you want to order, you can keep on selecting. Now when you are done, you want to enter the total cost, okay, of items. So that is, the total cost is going to take. So let's say ferroglobin is 1,000 cedis and we need about 100. Okay, so sorry, let's say we need about 100. Let's say next profile is going to be like 2,000. So I mean this is an example, it's an illustration. Okay, so you would know the actual quantity, I mean the actual price, okay, and then the quantities that you will need. Okay, so yeah, you enter the total cost. Okay, and then so this will be our final item. Let's just say okay. All right. So once we are done, when you scroll down, you notice some components are listed here. Okay, the first item that you see under component is subtotal. Now what subtotal means over here is that it calculates, the total of all the items that we have selected. Okay, so it gives you the total over here. And then when you come to the next item, we have what we call the supplier discount. Okay, so if your supplier agreed to give you a discount, okay, you can enter, okay, that discount over here. Okay, so let's say for instance, you are going to there's going to be a tax rate, okay, that is going to be on the item. So you indicate, the percentage. Is it 10%? Is it less than 10%? Is it more than 10%? I mean, whichever figure it is, you can just put it there. And then you come to the shipping fee. Okay, so shipping fee, that's if there's going to be any form of shipping, you can add that as well. Okay, and then if there are any other costs, okay, you can include them. And then over here you see what we call the overall total. Now the difference between the subtotal and the overall total is the subtotal only considers the total for the items that we have selected. Okay, the total price for the items that we have selected. But the overall total, okay, takes into consideration all the components, okay, over here. Okay, and then it does the summation for you. Okay, so at the end of the day, you know that this is how much you are going to expend, okay, for this particular order. Okay, then we have to the right purchases notes or special instructions. So if there are any notes, for instance, maybe other costs, you want to be specific on the other costs, you can include it. Or if there are any instructions or any detail, any information, sorry, any information related to this particular purchase order, you can include that as well. Okay, so once that is done, okay, you just click on, you can either save and continue later, and what this means is that you are not done. You are going to continue later on. So you see that save this purchases record to continue and add to inventory later. Okay, so at this point it doesn't add up to your inventory, but when you come here and you click save and add quantities to inventory, okay, it means that it is going to add all the quantities, okay, that we selected onto our inventory. So at this point this action cannot be undone. Okay, so we click and then we click on done. Okay, so this has been successful. Okay, so now over here you are able to generate a PDF. So let's click to generate PDF so that we have a look at how it's going to look like. Okay, so once our PDF loads, you see all the information that we wanted to provide. Okay, the purchase order details, the shipping details, okay, the payment details, okay, and then you come to the items section. Okay, so we have all the items, the costs, the quantities, okay, and all, and then every other relevant information that we want. Okay, so at this point you can either click, okay, on this icon to download, okay, the download icon, or you can print it out, okay, to have, like a physical document. Exactly. So this is it for creating a purchase order. So you notice that when we click on back to all purchases record, okay, we are able to see what we did. Today is 15th of June. We created this particular document right now. Okay, so we are able to see, the purchase order that we created. Okay, so now one thing we also have to take notice, if the purchase order, usually it's on credit, okay, usually it's on credit. So some retailers, based on the payment terms and condition that was agreed, they agree to pay, in installments, okay, at a later date. Okay, so over here you are able to actually keep track of payments that you are making to your suppliers, so that at every point in time you know how much you owe a particular supplier and how much you have paid, so that in case you usually order from a lot of suppliers, you don't mix, you don't get confused as far as payment is concerned. So over here we click on choose, and then we click on view items. So when you click on view items, okay, we are able to see, you know, the total, okay, that we have to pay our supplier. Okay, so let's say we are actually able to pay, we decide to pay a certain figure today. So let's say we are paying 10,000, okay, out of the over 17,000 that we owed our supplier. Okay, so once you've done that, you can click on save changes to total paid amount. And what this does is it saves, this purchase record. Okay, I mean it saves this figure, okay, so that the next time we ever visit this, okay, we know that, okay, we have this amount to pay. Okay, so now you can go back to your all purchases. You always have your record, you know over here. You click on choose to view items, okay, and then when you go to view items, you already know the amount you've paid. If you are going to make any more deposits, you can do that as well, and then you click to save changes to that. Okay, so this is all for purchase order, the purchase order feature. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. There are more of such amazing content for you on our YouTube channel, so do well to check them all out. I'll see you again in our next video, so do have a wonderful time, and bye bye.